Hi, this is own ABBAS HUSSAIN from Behind the Gloves, and I'm here with Paul Smith. Paul, we're here at the Anthony Crawler Ismail Barroso press conference. You're fighting on the undercard against Daniel REGI. You've taken 11 months out. What brings you back? And what's your sort of ambition and hunger at this present time?
It's the same as it was before the break. You know, the break was an enforced break. Really. I needed a couple of operations on my elbow and one on my hand as well, and my wife had a baby, so just took a bit of time out, enjoying myself and relaxing, and just spending a lot of time at home with the missus and the kids and that. But the ambition's always been the same. I want to be world champion. I believe I can be a world champion, and I believe if I get the fight, I can show it in the fights that I get. So first and foremost, I've got to get back on the winning record, get back on the road, and my last 3 fights have been obviously what they've been: 12-round title fights and a 12-round in the States. So I think a 6-rounder on an undercard in Manchester isn't unreasonable. So I'm going to go for that, and then just try and stay as active as I can.
And there was many rumours about yourself fighting Felix for his title. Obviously, we know what's happened to him and what's going on. What do you make of that situation, first of all?
I don't know. You know, there's a lot of suspicion in boxing, and there's a lot of talk about what's happened with the Russians, with Lucas Brown fighting one and failing the test, and now Felix Sturm fighting one and failing the test. But Felix Sturm's, you know, if he's took it himself, then he's failed his test, and he's a fool for doing that. Just boxing is it's not just a sport. You know, you can kill someone in there, and if you take drugs in boxing, you fail a drug test, you should be banned for life. And I've said it for years, and I'll never change my stance on that. You know, if I'd have took drugs, I'd have been world champion a long time ago, but I'd have never been able to look myself in the mirror. I've never put a thing in my mouth that was on a banned list. And everything I've been prescribed by doctors for operations or whatever else, I've been out of training, and that's literally to get an operation. You know, everything else that I've ever taken in my life has been on the list and been fine. And every other fighter should be the same. You shouldn't try and take drugs illegally, steroids, strippers, everything else to try and make your weight, or to try and gain weight, or to be strong, or to stay strong, to win fights. You can kill someone, and the rules are simple. You know, for me, if you fail a drug test, you should be banned for life. And I don't care what it is. If you're stupid enough to go and take something that you haven't even checked, then you've got to go.
You saw Tyson Fury go to Germany, and he took his own water. He took his own. So that's maybe a lesson, but it shows the sort of dirty side of boxing. If there is anything going on there, it does show that there is a dark side to boxing.
That's a bit of paranoia from Tyson, but it's a bit of healthy paranoia. You need that. You know, it worked for him at the end of the day. He didn't fail a test. He's won the championship of the world. He's not taking no drugs. He hasn't taken anything to get him up there or to get him down to a fighting weight. And he's heavyweight champion of the world, and can hold his belt and keep his belt because he passed his test. And he'll do the same again next time, and he'll probably do the same every fight now. But you control what supplements or what tablets you take, or what vitamins, what protein, what pre-workout, post-workout. There's so much bollocks basically on the market. You know, the companies that are having a field day with pre-workout supplements and post-workout. You know, most fighters just have a black coffee before training, and that's your pre-workout. But I just think you're responsible for what drugs you take and what supplements you take. You know, if I've got a headache, I'll take a paracetamol. If I've got toothache or something, I'll take an anti-inflammatory. If I hurt my back, I'll take an anti-inflammatory. But they're all on the list.
So you're a Liverpool football fan. We know about Sacco, Mamadou Sacco, who said he
said about Sacco. I've been treated at Melwood by the doctor in there, and the great people at Anfield, the great people at Melwood. And when I went in, he treated me. He gave me 3 different type of tablets, medicines for a bad spasm in my back and a tore me quad. And both times, the first thing he did before he gave me them was go on the computer and check that they were on the list. He typed in boxing, he got up our boxing list, he got up the UK anti-doping list, and he checked on all 3 ingredients: an anti-inflammatory, a type of painkiller, and like a paracetamol with codeine or something in like that. And he checked them, and they were all on the list, and he gave me them for 3 days. I took them for 3 days, and I've never failed a test. And this isn't about me failing. It's fighters in general. You know, you're responsible for what you take, and if you're not responsible for what you take, someone's prescribing it, then you check that and make sure that it's on the list. You know, we all try and take a bit of vitamins here and there, but even some of them, you just never know. You have to just check. If you check, then it's fine.
Before I talk about the anti-crawler fight yourself, I want to just pick your brain on the fight that was announced a couple of weeks ago between George Groves and Martin Murray, which is going to be on the Anthony Joshua undercard on June 25th. What do you make of that fight, and how do you see that fight playing out? Because you've obviously faced George before.
I think it's a good fight. I think it's a very good tactical fight. It'll be a hard fight. I think it'll be a fight in 2 halves. I think George is very good early. He always has been, and I think George fades a little bit late, but he has done recently. And you know, it's Martin will come on strong late as he does in most fights. So it makes it for an interesting fight. 2 very good fighters, 2 good lads, and you know, it's a close fight, I believe. But I'll reserve my opinion on it till I get a bit closer and have a little look into it too much. You know, I've been very much just focused on training for my own fight this week and the last few weeks. So like, I didn't watch any boxing last week. I believe the Conlon fight was a great fight, but I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the DeGale or the Jack fights either. You know, just tried to stay focused on my own training so far. But I think it's a great fight. I think it's a make or break fight for either, I believe, and that's the level they're at. It's the level I'm probably at myself, where you know, 1 loss would probably be the end of the world for all of us, really. So we don't really want that loss, and that's 2 fighters who one of them probably will lose, and the other will go on to hopefully try and fight for the world title.
Someone you know very well, fighting on the main event for this card is Anthony Crawler, trying a tough fight in Ismael Barroso. What did you see in Barroso when he fought Kevin Mitchell last year?
I don't think it was Barroso, I think it was Mitchell. I think, you know, I've said this time and again, with all respect to him, that I love Kevin Mitchell. I really like him as a fighter, as a lad, you know, got a lot of time for him, and I've watched him coming through the ranks since he was literally 12 years of age, knocking kids out in schoolboy championships. I watched him when my brother Stephen boxed him in the amateurs, Junior B, you know, and I've watched him right the way through, and I've been a big admirer and a big fan of him. But that wasn't the real Kevin Mitchell in there. He was past himself, and the fact that he retired probably proves that. You know, he didn't give the best account of himself. I believe the Kevin Mitchell that beat Bradis Prescott would have beat Barroso, and I think that's what Anthony Crawler's got to take confidence from. I think a lot of people are building Barroso up to be something, you know, a bit more than probably what he is, with all respect in the world. But Anthony's certainly not underestimating him. If anything, he's overestimating him, getting in there. You know, he's really trained hard, he's worked hard, he's done the hard way to get his title, and he's got to do it even harder now to keep it. Great sign of a good champion, not vacating the belt to go and fight for another title. He's going to beat his Mantlesy first, fingers crossed, and then try and unify. Finally,
I just want to pick your brain one more time. You know someone very well. Amir Khan's flown out to Las Vegas to fight in a super fight against Saul Alvarez Canelo. How do you see that fight going? Because Amir's going up in weight. Whether it's his natural weight, he's never fought at that weight before, so it's a different experience for him.
A lot of people are making a lot of issues about the weight, and it's 155, it's 11 stone 1. Amir probably walks around at 12 stone, maybe more. Yeah, okay, he'll be a bit out of shape on it, but Amir won't have to try out too much. He might look out of place because of the weight Canelo will gain after the weigh-in, post-weigh-in, and there's no reweigh clause in the contract. So Canelo will be his usual self. He'll be big on the night, but so will Amir to what he normally fights. He's done a lot of strength stuff. He's done a lot of strength training. He's done a lot of graft with Tony Brady, and he's been doing that for months and months on end. When he was back in Bolton about 6 months ago, he was working hard on his strength. Then he'll be fast, sharp. He's got to stick to his game plan. He's got to stay switched on, bell to bell, 3 minutes of every round for 12 rounds, and he can do it. I believe he can do it. I hope he does it. Canelo's a class act, and he's one of the elites that we've got out there. I love watching him fight, but I really hope Amir does it. I really hope he does the job for Britain, you know, for himself. He's a nice lad. He doesn't get the credit and the praise that he deserves, in my opinion, in this country, and you know, make it that what you want, but I really hope he does it. I'm behind him and wish him all the best for it.
Well, finally, what do you want to say to your fans who followed you from your early days to now, you know, your latter stages of your career? What do you want to say to them?
It's weird. I get tweets, you know, I'm a fan, I'm this and that, and it just baffles me. I hate the word fan, you know what I mean? I hate fighters when they sit there and say, "Oh, me fans," you know. It just, I couldn't say it.
But the realistic thing is that you do have.
They come to watch me fight. They're buying tickets, and I really appreciate it. I really do. And if they're admirers of me and the way I fight and me as a person, then brilliant, great. Thank you very much for your support, and you know, keep doing it. And the ride's not over yet, but you know, it's been a long road, and I still believe there's some left at the end. So fingers crossed we get there.
Paul, thank you very much for talking behind the gloves.
Hey, fight fans! If you guys haven't already done so, make sure you download the Behind the Gloves app. It's free, and it features really cool stuff like a fight calendar that reminds you of all the upcoming fights, and it allows for you to, with one click, to remind yourself directly to your phone. And it also features 24/7 breaking news that's going on in boxing. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that and subscribe to this channel.